word of.
I don't think we're
Let's do this. Hey, we're live.
Good evening.
Hello. Nobody's there yet.
Is it how dare they? Where are they?
Where are our fans? Our supporters.
Where are you?
Okay, we've got one viewer so far. Hello, whoever
One
you are.
viewer.
Hello.
Hey viewer, hope you're well.
3, that's it. People are coming now. If you've logged on to us, give us a quick message to say hello.
Don't get distracted by going.
Hey, Daniel's up. Ooh, Quartin is up. Hello, Quartin.
Hey.
Hey.
Doctor.
Hey, this is the shout out time, isn't it? We're giving shout outs to everyone.
Hey Dan, you're right.
Hey, hi, Fran.
Hey,
Hey,
Fran. Hey, Benny.
Benedicta.
Hey.
Oh, hi, Amanda.
You're right.
Costa's here.
Hey,
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
Costa's a wild one.
Yes, Pastor.
Yo.
Yay. Hi, Fia.
hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Let me just click again.
Mhm.
Oh, hello, Jackie, all the way from America. Hello.
Hey Jackie, you're right. Mami
Mami
Sewa, what's up, girl?
Has she finished her revision?
Probably
And
not.
her exams?
Probably not.
It's a break.
Is a break. Hi,
Hey, Bren.
Brenda.
Hey.
Big up Sarah Bree.
Oh, yeah.
That's our headscarf and face mask queen.
There you go.
Victoria.
Vicky.
Queen B in the house.
Hima.
Oh yeah, Mommy's always saying she's finished all her exams now.
Stop lying.
Man.
Well done, girl.
Got more.
All right, should we give you a couple of minutes and then we can start?
Yeah.
So while we're waiting, those of you that are already online, please share the link on YouTube and Facebook. Let everybody know we're here for tonight's discussion.
Tonight.
Quarantine Quarrels, we're calling it. But we're not going to be having any quarrels here, are we, guys?
No.
We better not.
No point.
There's not.
There's no point.
Click on Vicky's comment.
Amy,
Ready? Yeah. That marriage is my time.
they do though. That marriages do matter.
They do.
They really do. It's so important.
You know what? There was part of me that I was thinking, it just seems a bit surreal with everything that's happening right now. And I was just thinking, do we change the subject and talk about what is happening now, or do we just kind of go with the flow? But
Let's
then
go.
everybody else is doing so much at the moment. So maybe people kind of need a break from the news and everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Plus, this could go left if we start getting into like what's really going on out here.
That's true. Very true. I think Daniel's looking for a fight tonight.
No,
She's
TMZ. Producer T.
Hi, TP. That's my son.
Dance world stuff. It's so silly.
That's my project manager.
All right.
Okay, so I'm just going to share my link, and then we can start.
Are you sending it in the group so I can send it as well?
Yeah, I did. I've shared it in the group. So everybody should have the YouTube and the Facebook link.
Okay.
Yay! Hello, Adrian.
Blake, happy anniversary. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Happy Blake Day.
Happy anniversary, man.
Yay. All right, so should we kick things off then? Welcome everybody to the Husband and Wives Club this quarantine discussions. This is our second one. So those of you that tuned in last week, we had the ladies on and we were talking all things pregnancy and motherhood. And we got some really good feedback from that. And, you know, a lot of people, I think with the time frame, we didn't have time to kind of cover all the subjects that we wanted to talk about. And a lot of people kind of just said, you know, can I do this again and kind of talk about breastfeeding, talk about postnatal depression, all of those stuff. And obviously there's so much to do with pregnancy and motherhood that an hour and a half just wasn't enough time to cover everything. So yeah, watch this space and then we'll see if we can come back to that topic. But for tonight, I've got some couples here. We're going to do some introductions soon, but we're here talking about quarantine quarrels. But I guess the whole point of it is just to kind of catch up with everybody about how we're managing so far in lockdown and, you know, what's going on at the moment. And if we're all ready to file for a divorce or kill each other. I read somewhere that one of the things that's going to happen at the end of this quarantine is murder rates is going to go up or divorce rates is going to go up. So it'll be interesting to see.
Divorce rates.
So it'll be interesting to see which one is going to be going up in the forum today. So if you haven't oh gosh, here we go. So if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure you do that right now while you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, welcome everybody. And should we start with introductions?
Yep.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Well, I'm Linda. I think everybody knows my big mouth by now. Oh, baby, your turn.
I am Jason, the husband of Linda.
Yeah. Here's my baby.
Okay. All right. We're live. Don't do this. Don't do this. Live.
I promise not to embarrass you.
We can't even edit it out. This is live. Okay.
No editing tonight, guys.
We're live.
Is it too late to change my mind?
Way too late. Everybody's seeing you now.
Go on then.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we're the Asantes. I'm Fess as Asante.
Jocelyn.
We've been married. Shame. We didn't know that.
See, hold on a minute, T. We'll come back to you yet. And then you can explain why you're single at the moment.
Quarantine quarrels. That's what it was.
Okay, back to the Asantes. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself for those that don't know you?
So yeah, we're the Asantes. We've been married 11 years, 4 kids. Yeah, we're just getting on with it, loving life, you know.
Yep.
Oh, thanks for joining us this evening.
No worries.
Aggies. So, Tarina.
Hi guys. We are the Aggies. My wonderful other half.
Show us a picture of your husband.
My wonderful other half is putting the baby to bed. So I am here by myself at the moment. And I had a picture all lined up and now it's disappeared, which is great. So this is us. Yay! Pre-corona.
You just open up while you're talking so we know like you're still a couple. Yeah, that's it.
We're still married, guys. I promise. We're still married. We are going to be 11 years old or 11 years married next month.
Yeah.
We have one amazing daughter who is refusing to go to sleep. So as you can see, my hubby is is making sure that she goes to sleep. So yes, we are here. We're live. We're happy to be here.
Oh, thanks, Ajis, for joining us. I'm sure Kay will come and join us too. I feel so guilty because I'm like, oh no, it's my fault. I'm taking you lot away from Anaya.
Yes, it is your fault, actually.
Oh, you're not meant to say that. All right, so Asante, if we can start with you, obviously just kind of talking about how you guys have been managing the last few months in quarantine, lockdown. I know you said you've got 4 kids. How you've been managing with the 4 kids? I know the experience that we've been having. So we'll get to our story in a minute. But how have you guys been getting on?
It's been a lot. I think what I probably find the hardest is the homeschooling. I think that's what's trying to get them to just sit down and do what they need to do is hard work. But yeah, apart from that, it's been quite good. It's been good having Fess at home and just being around the family. I can't complain. I think I was just saying the other day that I don't know what people that don't have kids are doing at the moment during this lockdown, because
Are you
sure they're not enjoying their lives?
No, because I don't think they will, because I feel like the kids kind of takes the edge of it. Even if there's any issue, it's like you need to kind of get together to deal with it. But if you're just you two, you're here. It's like there's so much, quarantine time you can have together, just you two. And I think it's good to have the kids as well.
Yeah, it's been challenging. I think working from home, plus with the kids bursting in every conference call I'm on, there's definitely been a challenge. Like literally without fail. They'll kick the door in like they're the police. It's very weird. Like, smoke alarms while they're burning toast and stuff while I'm on a conference call. That's really bad. But generally it's been okay, the balance of working from home plus the kids plus marriage. It's been okay on the whole. It's been good.
What you were saying about working from home, that just I think one of the things that the kids said to us is one thing they're going to remember about the whole lockdown is the fact that daddy's on a call. I feel like we say that at least like 3-4 times a day.
Oh, with me, I say it
all the time. Non-stop. All the time. First spends most of his working hours on video conference or on a call. So it's really difficult for them to just not barge in, because normally they don't lock before they come in anyway, which is something we need to deal with.
Yeah, we do actually.
Is that at all times? Like they don't knock at all times?
Right. Babe, all the time.
No, I mean, is this at all times?
Yes. And then once you gotta just whoop.
You have to freeze.
Yeah.
And pretend you're sleeping. And you wait to see whether they'll go away or they try and tap you to it.
Yeah, we play trackies a lot at night. It's a nice thing.
It's a lot.
But seriously, in this house, it just feels like it was like, mommy, daddy, shh, daddy's on a call.
It's bad.
The one thing is, go on. No, sometimes I can hear them outside the door whispering, but they whisper like on. They might as well just be talking. Like, no, you knock. No, you ask him. And it's like I'm literally I can't concentrate on my call. But yeah, it's a mad one.
The other day I was on a conference call, a global one. There was a couple people on there, and they just started arguing about the remote control, like proper arguing loud. And I knew I was on the call, right? And I was in the middle of speaking. I had to pause the call, mute the call, and I shouted, "Shut up!" as loud as I could, like proper loud. You know those shut ups when you're panting afterwards. You're like, and then I unmuted and I just carried on as usual. Yes,
Wait, that girl pushed me over today, boy.
She's sleeping now.
Bawling her eyes out, man.
Is she all right now?
Well, she's sleeping. Cried herself to sleep.
Oh
well, that's life.
Stand outside the door.
Oh, welcome, Kay.
Cheers, guys.
I'm well.
Yeah.
You're here. See, daddy duties.
There you go.
Yeah.
2020 daddies, isn't it?
What's happening?
So we just before you got here, we were just talking about working from home and kind of just how everybody's been managing within the lockdown and stuff like that.
Mm.
So should we come to you guys then, since you just come in just in time?
Well, not much has really changed for us because I'm at home with the baby and Kay's still going to work because he's a key worker.
Key worker, yeah, clap for the key workers.
So yeah, I guess we really cherish our weekends because that's when we really have family time, and like in the evenings and stuff like that. But it's more or less still the same for us. So we haven't really like had much change.
Yeah, the staying at home life has not really come my way.
Oh,
Yeah.
you wish you could be staying home more often.
Pardon, say that again.
You wish you could be like working from home as well. You're quite content going into work.
Sometimes, but I guess it's good to
Wow.
Because it's good to get out and get fresh air.
Escape,
It's
isn't
true.
it?
You mean escape from the home?
Just a little fresh air is nice.
You do. I do only 2 days a week, and I swear it's like when I first went back to work, it was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to go back to work. But then as the weeks went on, I kind of looked forward going to work because it's like everybody's in lockdown, but I get to be outside.
Yeah.
So it feels good to be outside, only for 2 days, so that's okay. I don't think I want to do 5 days a week out there, but the 2 days, I look forward to it. Yeah, so I feel what you're saying, Kay.
Yeah. I think the hardest part is leaving the family.
So go on, Kay.
I think the hardest part is just waking up in the morning, and when you're leaving a family, and like they're at home. Sometimes you want to be out, but the change is good to be able to go to work and come back, be out there. Yeah.
I like going for night drives. Night drives are good.
Oh, where do you go for night drives?
Drive.
Sometimes just gets in a car and drive
because
around.
I'm on the phones and like on the computer from 9. Like I'm doing really long hours at the moment because work's really busy. So in the evenings, I just need to get in a car and just drive.
We should add that to the discussion.
Well, funny that I did have it, but I thought it was too close to home, so I took it out.
Relax. It's important.
Maybe another day, yeah?
Another day. Pencil in, definitely.
Yeah, you're right.
I think for us, like I keep saying to Jason that I've actually really enjoyed the lockdown quarantine period, and I actually don't want it to end. Whenever they keep saying about, going back to work and everybody leaves, I'm just like, no. I know Jason probably doesn't feel the same way.
I haven't even said anything.
He wants to go on a long drive. But I love it. Like, I love the fact that we are all in the house. Like, we've been doing a lot more cooking together than we would have normally. And we've actually been cooking together, cooking good meals, not just, whatever easy meals that you can get away with. You're actually thinking, oh, what should I make? Should we make this? Should we make that? And I feel like family time has definitely improved.
Hey.
I think Jason definitely wants it to end. How do you feel, babe?
How's it been? To be honest, I think what everybody's saying, I agree with. I think we've definitely got closer as a family. Just being in everybody's space 24/7, not being able to go out. I think we've 100% got closer as a family. I think the work thing, as Fess is saying, it's a huge challenge. Like I never thought I would say it, but I think there are times where I miss going into the office, just to have that piece to work properly. But generally, like I don't think I do want it to end. But just having the fresh air that Jocelyn gets every 2 days would be nice. But no, I've enjoyed it. I think it's been a good time for us as a family, and I've been getting some good food.
Yeah, he's been getting some good food.
Yeah, but what about my crumble yesterday?
Oh, so he made apple crumble yesterday.
Sick.
Go on.
But Jay's quite good with dessert.
Specialist in crumbles.
He's quite good with dessert.
Say it louder, Josh.
Please don't encourage him.
Was it nice, Lynn?
Cheesecake.
When he's cooking, he's cooking one or two things. He's either making pasta bolognese or he's making apple crumble.
But Tarina asked the question.
Yeah, what was your question, T?
Was it nice?
Yeah, it was right.
No.
I bet it was nice.
Yeah, so
all right. His crumble was really nice. Oh, that really hurt me to say.
Yeah, we've definitely been doing a lot of cooking, and like we've had a cake, a crumble, or some sweet dessert with every meal. We've definitely maybe piled on the pounds a little bit too much. But it's been really nice. I'm with you. I don't want lockdown to finish at all. I'm just like, lock me in, lock me up, because I've just gone back to work after maternity leave, and I was really feeling guilty about leaving the baby and stuff like 5 days a week. So this lockdown is like extended maternity leave for me. I'm loving it. I'm literally like, I don't even want to go to the park sometimes. I literally just want to stay in my house and not go anywhere. It's been so nice. Really nice.
It has. I think God knew that we all kind of needed time out. Like life was just getting so busy.
Yeah.
And this is just like the rest that, yeah, I think it's the rest that we all needed. I mean, like both Jason and myself are working from home. So sometimes it's like, it feels like, I don't know, we feel a bit guilty actually, because even though we're trying to help them with the homeschooling, it's like you still got your 9 to 5 work that you have to do. And I don't know how you guys feel. I feel like when you're working from home, there's an expectation that you actually have to work. It's not like before.
I think
you know, like before, when I was expected to go into the work, I would kind of like work from home, but probably not really do much, or nobody really.
Don't say that online. What's wrong with you?
I know my work colleagues are going to be watching this. No, I just feel like there's more pressure to actually produce work, and everybody expects you to do more than you probably would have if you wasn't working from home.
Yeah, and to be at your computer like all the time. Yeah.
But it's like even between like lunchtime hours, if somebody's calling you and you don't pick up, they're like, I've been calling you and you wasn't available on time. And I'm like, yeah, it's called a lunch break.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like you're not allowed a lunch break because you're working from home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I know. But anyway, I guess everybody's kind of seen how, I guess the experience of being positive in a whole.
Yeah.
So going on our quarantine topic, do we think that has any of you had any kind of disagreements that have come out? Just not like normal disagreements that you would normally have, but maybe disagreements that's come out just out of being on lockdown and kind of just being stuck together with each other?
I think for us, not really. If anything, Joss is trying to tell me to kind of maybe trim the hours down a bit with work, and that's pretty much it, I'd say.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing, because as we were saying, that you do feel the need to kind of do a lot more than you would do if you were in the office because you're at home. So it's like normally he would have finished work at 7 or 6 and be home by 8 o'clock. Now it's like 10 o'clock and Fest's still working.
No, but like with my work right now, it's a busy time, but she knows that. But I know where she's coming from. But it's just that it's a challenge because there's a lot to do right now for the company I'm working for. So it's just
I get it, but it's just it's not. You know, that's the only thing that I kind of have a go at you about.
Yeah,
to be honest.
And I say I'm coming. 2 minutes, I'm coming.
Yeah.
You know what?
By the time he comes, I'm falling asleep.
Thank you.
Yeah, but first, if you go and she's falling asleep, just wake her up, innit?
Always, obviously. Come on.
Don't encourage him.
You know, I think with the quarantine though, when it comes to arguing during quarantine, I found that any arguments or disagreements are resolved a lot quicker because like we've got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have to resolve it like really quickly, otherwise it's going to be a tense quarantine in the house.
You imagine like where'd you go?
Nope. Especially very early on during the quarantine, so we didn't know when it was going to end. So there's lots of other things where I'm like, do you know what, it's not worth the hassle. It really is. So you just allow it, let it go.
Yeah, because I think you're right, Jason, because normally you probably have an argument and you go to work and not, you know, really have that space to kind of talk it out.
Mm.
And then you come back and maybe you might just be like, you're right. And then just kind of just, you're right.
So you're right.
You're right.
You know about that one?
I get.
Come back, you're right.
And then you go to bed and you're like, you want them to touch you, but you're like,
and pretend you're sleeping.
You guys do that as well when you're like, you're pretending you're sleeping and you're secretly hoping they'll just touch you.
You are so mad, I swear.
You know what? That shows that you are right in the head, you know?
You just use something and brush against them, like.
Yeah.
Wait. Do you hear what you lot are saying? You realize how you lot are pretending to sleep. Like, I hope he touches me. What nonsense is this?
And you keep turning and tossing and
You lot are mad.
You really need to take
See, Benedict is feeling that. She said, "Don't tell them our secret."
It's out. You lot are terrible.
That's actually so funny. Nah, there's no times like that. And you just want them to just say something. You want them to cuddle you. You just want them to just, come out there.
Wait.
You don't want to make the first move. No?
You lot are so stubborn. I don't understand.
No, I feel you. I'm the same.
I think all our viewers, all the ladies know exactly what we're talking about.
Okay. So I'm just seeing loads of women just laughing.
This is so bad.
You know what? I'm not gonna say all of you women are mad. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not.
Oh my gosh. So we've got a couple of questions. So for our viewers, we're going to be doing some dilemmas. We've got a couple of dilemmas that we're going to read out and then just kind of talk through. And then if you've got any advice, make sure you join the conversation as well. But before we move on to that, we've got some questions that I'm going to read out. Where is it? So the first one is, apart from spending time together, what is the best part of lockdown?
I think the family time.
Yeah,
that is
time. Like we are intentionally spending more time together because unfortunately that's all you can do. But it's really nice. It's just that family time. That sometimes, because we're in such a rush, we're going to church. And then Sunday is literally like your only prep day. You just don't get any family time. And so I think for me, I look forward to the weekend when I know he's definitely going to be here. I try not to make plans on the weekend. Sometimes it's not possible, but I just make sure that we're here. And then like for the past couple of weeks, we've been like deciding from in the week what we're going to eat. So like there's a little bit of excitement about what we're going to eat this week. Are we going to have chocolate cake, or are we going to have plain cake, or we going to have crumble?
Food sounds really exciting in everybody's household right now. It's all right, we don't have to work on our summer bodies because there ain't going to be any summer.
It really isn't.
It's cancelled.
There's always next year.
Yeah. 2021.
Exactly. Did any of you have anything to add about that before we move on to the next question?
No, I think I agree. I agree with what T's saying. I like it. It's the quality time. You know what I like? Just going for a walk, like while I'm working, just stopping for a bit, getting up and walking around the house and seeing the kids kind of lounging. Joss is around doing her thing, and just kind of interacting in a daytime at like a 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just it's not a normal thing, but it's just nice to be able to do, you know.
I found that I'm saving a lot of money because obviously when I'm not traveling, saving a lot of money. But
hold on, don't you feel like because we've been at home, I feel like we're spending more money on food shopping than we normally would? No?
Yeah, more money on food shopping because we're feeding them 3 times a day now. Because as before, or 5 times a day in our house. As before, they used to go to school and then you have that, you don't have to think about lunch. And I think we're eating more as well But I think the money's being saved because we're not going out as much. I mean, when we go out as couples, we tend to kind of spend quite a bit on dinner or hotels. So all that money's being saved.
Yes. I'm not socializing like I normally do. So
yeah,
the
we
coin,
thank God.
The coin is there. I do miss going out though. I'm ready to go out. As soon as lockdown's done,
Fess is going to be raving for a whole month.
Probably.
Tariki just put a comment, saving and spending on Amazon. That's right. Like close out from your stand.
To be honest, like I've been buying so many random things on Amazon. Like the other day, I bought a baseball bat. And
I know.
What?
Why, Jay? Why are you buying a baseball bat?
It was on offer. So like,
it was on offer.
I don't know.
What are you doing? Window shopping in Amazon.
You know what it is? Amazon Prime is so easy. So I'm like, oh, that's good. Bang. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
Hold on, was that the bat you had earlier?
Yeah, that one.
Put it in the boot of the car, man.
Oh, Festus.
I reach him.
With the ball, obviously.
With the ball, obviously, yeah.
Come on.
You're going to play baseball.
Yes, all
this
right.
man have had a baseball bat in his group.
We're live, Justin. We're live, Justin.
I don't know what she's talking about. It's not something. I don't have a bat. Anyway, well, yeah.
All right, so the next one is what have date nights been like for you since lockdown began? Have you guys had any time to kind of do date nights and things like that?
No.
No, Phil?
No.
No.
No, we just haven't called it date night. I think
that's what. Yeah,
like
that
we had like a date night today where we just kind of chilled and watched a bit of TV. Oh, you don't agree? No.
Wait, no. You girls have had date nights with your Zoom calls.
Yeah.
Actually, yes.
Sorry,
guys. Some you want an intentional date night.
Why are you jealous, Ken?
No, it's not that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. I haven't seen it as date nights. It's just been normal.
Okay, guys, cut this now.
When the kids go to bed, that's kind of our time anyway to kind of watch movies together.
But I don't see that as date night. Yeah, I agree with Kay because I don't see that as date night because I think if it wasn't quarantine, this is what we'd be doing anyway. We send the kids to bed. It's our time catching up with movies or programs that we're watching together. So I don't see that. I don't think we have made a conscious decision. Oh, tonight we're going to have a date night and set it like that. So
date night's intentional, right?
Yeah, I think it's
it hasn't been intentional.
I don't think we have had
so I don't call it date night.
Where are you going for date night?
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying we haven't had date.
But should we have?
No.
Let's do the argument.
You know? I'm just giving my
I'm trying to look you up. Jesse's like, no, let's hear the argument.
I just want to know if we should have intentional date night.
I'm answering the question, mate.
So
I'm answering the question.
Hold on. Wait. So do you mean like dressing up and going to the living room?
No. I don't.
I am not.
I said, don't you guys get bored of watching movies?
Boy.
No, quite, no.
I don't know what date night. I don't know.
I think maybe date nights is like intentionally saying planning something. So I don't know, maybe a little bit more than the kids have gone to bed now. Let's watch something. Maybe
because that's
you put some candles on and you make some special popcorn and just be like, this is the oil we're gonna use at the end.
That even sit down and have dinner together. Because normally, as I said, my husband's working, so I'll have dinner with the kids and then he'll come and have dinner after. So to me, I think if we were having a date night, it's like feed the kids, I'll wait for him, he finished work early, and we sit down, and have dinner together, have conversation, and not even have the TV on, just just be together.
TV.
No TV.
I like that.
Let's have a conversation. Let's eat together.
Yeah.
Talking conversation.
Have you seen the comment from Joyce? She's saying it has to be intentional.
It's true.
That's the point I'm making.
So we should have intentional dates.
If it isn't called date night, then it doesn't count. She said.
No. I agree. Thank you, Joyce.
Oh well.
Yes.
But whose responsibility is that then?
The men.
Thank you very much, Jason.
But I don't think
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I don't think that's anybody's responsibility. We're not saying you should have date night. The question was, how has date night have been? And my answer was, there haven't been date night. And he supposedly thought that there had been. So we're just clarifying the difference between date night.
That's exactly what that is true, though.
So like bullet 1, bullet 2.
Linda.
I'm with you.
But so I'm saying that we should have
Clarification.
intentional
I'm not
date
saying
night then.
that's what we should be doing, because I quite like, just sitting down and watching TV. But there's a difference between saying we're having a date night and just everyday evening together. That's just my point.
Yeah, I think it's the intention, isn't it? So I guess the question will be that we haven't intentionally had a date night.
Yeah.
I guess because we're all kind of cooked up together. I think for us, because we're having, normally we kind of make time for the date nights because we don't have that time. You see what I mean? Like, that person's going to work, you're going to work, you're doing a school runs, you're doing after school clubs, you're doing all sorts of things. So you don't really get that one-on-one time. So you make intentional time to have date night. Whereas now, I guess there haven't been the need to, because like, we see each other way too much. You don't.
Right, next time I come downstairs, I'm gonna say, "This is date night. Let's turn the TV on, and we're just."
Who should plan date night? I agree.
It needs to be planned in advance.
What do you want from me?
Who should plan date nights? Is it the men or the women?
I think we should take it in turn. It should be something that is taken in turn. Everybody.
If we take it in turn, there'll be one date night, right? And by the man, and there will be no more date nights after that. Because you don't want to plan anything.
That is not true.
I was gonna say that's not true.
It's not, T.
The women are doing.
There we go. I think the men should plan date nights because the women are doing a lot more in lockdown.
Wait. That person should speak for their own household. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
It doesn't take much to plan. No, seriously, I think we should make an agreement that the men do date nights. Yeah?
It's not really an
We're
agreement.
not discussing our homes.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah,
let's not discuss.
Do that offline, shall we? We'll do that offline, shall we? Yeah.
We can't edit this.
I think
I take it we're not going on date night.
No.
Not, mate.
No date night for us. I think there was another question.
Date night, but seeing as we're not having date night, then you should plan it.
Say it again.
This is date night.
Yeah, I guess this is date night. Yeah.
This is
Thank
not.
you.
This is not date night.
True. Cheers.
No, babe, this is not date night.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you.
He said cheers.
There was a question from Michelle, I believe. An earlier question. I'm trying to get it back up. I can't seem to find it. It was related to the lockdown. Okay, Michelle, if you're still there, can you? Oh, there it is. Let me put it back up. What have you learnt?
Have you learned anything new?
Have you learnt anything about each other during lockdown?
Not really. I don't think anything has changed. I guess because of the nature of Fess's job, that he tends to get contracts that means that he works at home quite a bit. I think the difference between now is normally when he's working from home, we don't have the kids around, so we can do a lot more things than normal with the kids around while he's working from home. So I'm kind of used to having him at home. most of the time. So yeah, I think so nothing really, nothing new, because I feel like this is our normal kind of life anyway.
Yeah.
Apart from the fact that we can't go out on dates or go cinema, because I'm home 3 days a week, and majority of his contracts he gets to work from home. I feel like nothing's really changed for us like that, apart from having the kids around more.
I think it's a funny one. Actually, it's not even anything serious, but I've learned how Jason really talks at work. So whenever he's on the phone, the kids are always like, Daddy's got his posh voice on again.
Give us a demonstration.
Nah, don't let them mock him.
I think Tariq does the best demonstrations of his dad's voice, really. He goes, the.
All right.
He said the. Oh,
yeah, like I'm some sort of illiterate guy. Just hold yourself.
No, the comes before like the really big words.
You're so rude.
And then
The next one,
obviously you get to hear about, like, normally if they'll talk about things that happen at work, obviously I think I know, because before he always used to say to me, so what do I do at work again? Or what job do I do? And I'll be like,
I worked for the company. She didn't even know what I did.
I did know what you did.
Every time I asked her, what do I do? She's like,
Because I keep forgetting. I've got a bad memory.
Okay. I think that's true, actually. I think one thing I have learned is I've learned a lot more about what Fez is doing, because knowing my husband, he likes to kind of fill me in what's happening, what projects he's working on, who he's working with, and so on. So I feel like I've got to know a lot more of what he's doing than before. As before, when he got home, it was just kind of surface bit about particular incidents that has happened at work. As now, every time I come in a room, he's telling me something about what he's doing or who he's been talking to. So yeah, so that's something I've learned.
That's exactly what it's like. That is on a call. No, but definitely, like, now I actually know what he does at work and the amount of times that he has to have all his conference calls. And when it's 5 o'clock and he calls me and he's like, I'm just finishing off a call, and I'm just like, it's 5 o'clock. Why are you still at work? You need to be at home. Like, now I actually understand a little bit more about why certain meetings will kind of go over and he might not be able to leave at 5 or 5:30 on a dot and stuff. So I think that's one thing I can definitely say that I've kind of learned about him, I guess.
And I think for you, like, what I have noticed, and I'm gonna say it, she's probably gonna get like excited and happy, but she's an actual boss when it comes to work. Like, she honestly, I hear her on the phone and speaking to her colleagues and dealing with her cases, and like she knows her stuff, and everything is so quick. And I'm listening in the background while I'm on my call saying the. I'm like, yeah, like she knows her stuff. She's an actual boss when it comes to work. So
babe.
All right.
You can get something like
baby, please.
Day night.
Day night tonight, guys.
It's intentional.
I have an appreciation of what she does and the stresses that she goes through at work. So that's definitely something I've learned about.
All right, so
what about the Aggies? I haven't answered.
Because I'm not working from home.
All right.
I'm not working from home, so it's like I'm at work. I'm fixing a boiler or toilet or pipe or whatever it is. I'm not at home, so it doesn't really relate to me.
Have you learned anything about me?
No, everything's always...
You just knew it. That's good.
Yeah.
He knows you, T.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nothing new.
Have you been working from home, T?
I started off working at home, and then I was put on the furlough scheme. So I've been on that since the beginning of April. So I've really been enjoying not working
Good
and not
to
having to think
enjoy
about work.
it.
Just being able to spend more time focused on the baby and just being with her. But I think for me, I've definitely learned that I don't like mess. So I'm like constantly just like tidying up, and also like because I know Kay's away at work all day, I want it to be really nice when he comes home from work. So
Oh,
tidied up and stuff like that. Food is not always like hot on the plate, steaming when he walks through the door, but I try and make sure that the house is nice and the
T, that's so nice.
I shower every day to make sure that he comes. Listen, lockdown.
Are you showering for him or are you showering for yourself?
Well, I don't know. No, I'm joking.
Can we pause, please?
I had a shower today.
Thank you, Kwasi. Thank you. But yeah, just make it really nice for him when he comes home from work.
Okay, all right. That's been fun, and obviously it's been nice kind of catching up on how everybody has been getting on. So should we start with our dilemmas for this evening then?
Yeah.
Jason, do you want to go for the first one?
No, let's read it out and everyone can just give it.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Do you want to just read? Yeah.
Okay.
So, guys that are watching, oh, actually, hold on. There's one more question before we move on. This is from Geraldine. Has being in lockdown increased opportunity for intimacy?
It depends what, like...
Hold on. Before we carry on, Tariq, if you're watching, can you just
please.
log off and then come back again?
Log off now. Log off now. And I'll text you when you can come back on. Okay? All right. Okay. Can I go?
He don't want to know anyway. Tariq don't want to know.
T, I'm going to start now, T.
Yeah, we're starting now, T. Cool. Yeah, go.
So, we've had to do it at like crazy times. I know it shouldn't like it's like 3, 4, 5 a.m. just because everybody's anyway. Yeah. So
I think there's a lot of people in this house. We're a family of 6. So in between trying to work, trying to do breakfast, lunch, dinner, trying to do conference calls. And let's face it, our not so teenage son, adult son, just does not sleep. So
let's temper our response. So what was the question again?
Yeah.
What's the question?
Has it improved your intimacy? Has it increased opportunity?
No, it's decreased. To answer your question, it's decreased it.
It's decreased it because the kids are just around all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. Normally, the fact that first will be working at home would have been
ample.
The thing with me is I can't switch off knowing the kids are awake and moving around.
I don't care.
And he really doesn't. But I feel like I can't switch off. So I want at a time where I feel safe enough that somebody's not going to barge in.
I like the dangerous aspect, you see.
I don't.
You want to catch me? You have to be quick.
Do you know what? That is so true. I feel like us, the women are a little bit more. Obviously, Anaya is still quite young, so she does not know what's going on. But I just feel like with the men, like they're fine, but my mind is just like, is someone coming up the stairs?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. That's the danger.
And then he'd be like, no, there's nothing. Let's just go. Yeah. I swear I can hear someone. And then you pause and you wait. And then it's like, okay, no. And then start again.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, the answer to your question is no.
It's decreased.
Yeah. It's been hard. It's been hard, and we just have to be creative, I guess.
Yeah.
The house is only so big, though, isn't it? There's only so many places you can sneak off to.
Gosh, what did you just say?
She's wonderful.
You can't, we all do it, guys.
Even you.
Yeah. Well,
you're gonna be like that soon. We told you so. All right, so let's go on to our questions. All right, so if you're with us online, please join in. Our first scenario is up on our screen, okay?
So first scenario, I find sometimes when I put my foot down with the kids or discipline them, my wife/husband lets them off or contradicts what I say. How should I best address this?
Hmm.
You
you'd have to talk about it alone first, isn't it?
What'd you say, Kate?
You have to talk about it alone first, like in your privacy. Both of you have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And say, even if you disagree, like at that point, be quiet. Don't say anything. When we're alone, then you can maybe say, baby, you're a bit harsh or you're a bit too soft or whatever, but you can't, you definitely cannot disagree in front of the kids.
Yeah.
You have to like show like a united front.
Yeah.
Have there been any situations where you have disagreed in front of the children? And if so, how did you deal with that? Because I know there's probably been times where I've said something or I've told them to do something, and then somebody who will go nameless.
Somebody, I have no idea who he's talking about. Sorry, babe, who's somebody?
Can I finish one?
Go on in.
Will either disagree with what I'm saying or say, oh, just leave him. He's only 5. Or leave him. He's only dead.
Babe, why do I feel like everyone's always picking on my baby?
No, I'm just saying. So have there been any situations where that has happened? And how have you dealt with it? And I guess for the adju's as well, should that come up, how would you deal with it?
Go on, Joss. Go.
No, you go, T.
We had a conversation about it I think before the baby was born, about like contradicting each other, and so I don't really think we have a problem with that. Like I'll go along with it. Daddy's in charge, daddy's talking to you, daddy's whatever, blah blah blah, and I trust his judgment. So most of the time, whatever, even if it's like calling her and she'll run to me, I'll be like, no, daddy's calling you, and I'll take her back to daddy and they'll do what they're doing, because I don't ever want to come between their relationship like that. So and I think that I slipped up, I think it was last week, and I was like, that will never happen again. And just I don't ever want there to be an issue there with me, like,
I just never want to be painted as a bad guy, like, good cop, bad cop. I don't want any of us to be anyone to be a bad cop or a good cop, like the children has to know that mom and dad always agree. Like, they have to think that at least. Do you know what I mean? They have to think that. And I don't know if that's realistic, because obviously we just started. You guys are more experienced in that field, and I see Joss is smiling. So
I think, Kay, like what you were saying, that you will wait and then afterwards kind of just say to them. And I think Quieting's question was that, what if that situation requires like an immediate response straight away? Would you then intervene, or how would you?
Yeah, I go with it. Like, I don't want there to be I don't want our kids to not think that we're not united, so I just go with it, and then we'll have a conversation about it afterwards if there is anything. But most of the time, like, we're on the same page, so whatever he's doing, whatever I'm doing, and then we just
Okay, what about Asante's?
Go on, babe.
I think it's a good idea what you're saying, and I completely agree. And I guess that's every parent's intention to do that. But I think probably as children get older, even though you want to hold that in and have a discussion afterwards, sometimes you can't help but interject. And ideally you shouldn't, But I think as mothers, we tend to kind of feel for them at the time and kind of want to help them out. And I feel when he's not listening to them. So it's a matter of, actually, babe, wait, listen, hear what he has to say first, or hear what she has to say. Let her finish explaining before you give it to her, because she might or he might have had a valid reason for doing or saying whatever they did, instead of, oh, this person's done this, and then straight in you're shouting at them or you're sending them to their room. Wait for the explanation. What did she did to him before that happened? Kind of conversation. So in that sense, I would interject. I'm like, no, wait, kind of thing. And then there's been times where I've been on the other side where he seems to think I'm being a bit harsh. But Fess is quite good. He doesn't jump in like I do. I think it's a woman thing, to be honest. I might be wrong, but it's a woman thing in terms of wanting to protect your child at that point when they get in it. But he tends to kind of wait for me to tell them off. They go off crying or whatever they're doing, and then he like, babe, that was a bit harsh. Maybe call them up. If I send them upstairs for like half an hour, maybe call them up in 10 minutes. It's a bit harsh. It's not that deep, kind of thing. And I like, okay. But he will normally wait and doesn't often interject in that. As I'm more likely to do it, and I know I shouldn't, but sometimes I just can't help myself.
That makes it worse, I think, when I'm in the moment of disciplining, and then she's there saying, yeah, but babe, what you need to bear in mind is, it's like, you know what, I don't want to hear that at that particular moment in time. I just want to land and let this child know that they were wrong. I don't care about anything. You see? The thing is, at that point, what that does, the child's like, yeah, mummy, you tell him. Or like, no, we're not having it. So then it winds him up even more. Yeah. What was the question? I forgot the question.
So on that first, like, I know, so I'm the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, when it's time to install discipline, then discipline must be installed. But often, sometimes, the same thing that Jocelyn is saying happens here. And there's probably occasions, when we might be wrong. Do you know what I mean? Like, but
occasions,
we see one or two. What are you doing?
Yeah, in the 20 odd years, I've probably been wrong like 1.5 times.
Yeah,
but,
all right, mate. 1.5 times.
But
I didn't know we were counting.
But my point is, if you are in the wrong, even and you've reacted and you've disciplined or you told them off, whatever, and this goes for the mothers as well. Are you still okay to go to the child and say, I am sorry? Or like in our parent generation, do you know what I mean? Like,
no way.
Have you eaten? That would be the story. You know what I mean?
That was my dad's way of saying sorry. Have you eaten? Or ask me some random thing like, go and turn the TV onto this channel. Like, that's his way of bonding. But with me, if she's let me know that I've messed up or I've gone a bit too, like, gone to 100 too quick, I normally will get up and go find a child and be like, my bad, kind of.
But doesn't that undermine what you just did to the child? Like the whole...
No, but it shows the fact that, yes, adults can be wrong too. I should have, and I think first do go to them and talk to them. It's like, yes, I should have listened to you, or, I was wrong to have, done A, B, and C before allowing you to explain yourself, because I think that's what his issue is. Just as soon as the event happened and hear the cry, the scream, it's like, who did it? And then the finger points, and then straight onto that person.
Judgments.
Judgment
whatsoever. Yeah. It's like you've been accused, judged, and sentenced straight away.
But the thing is, with the youngest, he's like, even when I'm trying to tell him off, it's mad. Isaac will stand there and
it's like, no, daddy,
and he wants to
listen, daddy,
he wants to explain himself, and it blows my mind. Like the time has changed. He'd be like, no, let me explain, Daddy. No, listen. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah. He won't go easily. He
No.
needs to say what he needs to say before he then storms off upstairs.
Who does he think he is?
Your son.
You know? Yeah. It's tricky.
I don't know. I feel like I really try, but I feel like it's a bit like what Joss was saying, that sometimes I feel that the punishment doesn't always
meet the crime.
I feel like it's sometimes a bit too much. So and I don't always be like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. I'm always like, babe, like I try and say softly, like.
But you can't whisper for doo-doo. What?
I do try to whisper, but then he gets upset. Even just saying babe, like upsets him, and he's like, what?
Because that's not the time to do it, babe. What's that?
Yeah. You have to give it a little time before you.
I'm trying to be discreet, so like the kid don't hear me trying to tell him to calm down. But then because he thinks he knows what I'm going to say, like he's already like ready to attack me as well.
Hey, don't say attack.
Okay, no attack. Sometimes I have to text him what I want to say because I don't want the kids to hear. But it's not good.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, so like I try and text him. I'm like, just whatever, because I know what the response will be, and obviously I don't want the kids to hear me saying those things. But yeah, it's hard to one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Comments on maybe.
Which one?
Go on. Keep
going.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't even know what that means.
So someone said, what if the child goes to one parent and they say no, so they go to the other parent and they don't say that they've spoken to that parent already? How do you how do you do that? So if they play the parent.
That's sick. The kids do that.
Our kids do that.
Which one?
They do. All of them do.
Yeah.
All of them. All of them. It's mostly to do with whether they can play PlayStation or not. So they know when they come to me, it's straight up no. But when they go to first, we'll say yes. So they've now learnt not to ask mum to play PlayStation.
Yeah, because the thing is, if they're playing PlayStation, then they're not disturbing me on conference calls. So go and play the PlayStation. That is it.
But first, and probably Quarks, when you come to it as well, do you find that you usually back what your wife is saying most of the time, or is it vice versa?
For me, yeah. If I'll ask, what did your mum say? And then there's an excuse. Well, what mum actually said was, is it yes or no? What did she say? And if mum said that, then I'm backing it straight.
Yeah, that's what I'd probably do myself. I'll say, what did your mum say? And they say they haven't asked, then maybe they can do it or not.
Like, in fact, this evening, Isaac came to me because I did a little bit of work today. Don't judge me. Isaac came upstairs and said, "Can I play the PlayStation?" And I said, "What did your mum say?" Because I haven't asked her. I said, "Well, she's downstairs, so you ask her because I'm up here." And his face was like, she's gonna. So, yeah, it's a funny one, man. It's a funny one.
Okay. Should we move on to our next one?
Yeah.
Asante, do you wanna?
Yeah, that's the same one.
Oh, is that the same one?
Yeah.
You wanna take this one, Asante?
Yeah, sure. My husband. My husband insists that whenever we give his mum a lift, she should sit in the front seat. I'm his wife, and he's a mummy boy, but I don't see why I should come second to his mum.
Okay. You see, to me, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think I will wait for my husband to ask me to go to the back seat. I feel from an African background, it's just a standard respect. It doesn't even need to be his mum. Any auntie that we give a lift to,
or even your mum,
any auntie, even an auntie that will give a lift to, I will always offer the front seat for them because it's a sign of respect. I wouldn't even wait for him to say, "Can my mum sit at the front?"
We've never even had that discussion.
We've never had it. I've always kind of gone, and most of the time, my mum will say no straight away, and so would his mum. It's like, no. I sit at the back, but at least I have offered, and then they say no, then that's it. I think if my husband insisted I say that I went to the back, I probably will have a problem with that.
Then I would say I've married wrong if that's the kind of discussion I'm having. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Get to the back. Go on. My mum's here. That's not my wife. Man.
Yeah, I think I'm like, sorry, Kay, were you saying something?
No, go ahead, man.
No, I was saying that I think with you, Joss, like it's never been a thing. Like I know that if Jason's mum is there, I'm sitting at the back and she's not sitting at the front, and that's the end of it. You know what I mean? It's never been oh, I don't know what to do or what to say, or I mean, how could you let her go and sit at the back?
Yeah. But I think that's more to do with our culture, though. Like, and I think the fact that maybe if I didn't get on with his mum, I'll be like, yeah, no, I ain't doing that.
Oh.
No, but you know what? I don't think you would. You know, I don't think if you didn't get on with it, I don't think you'd be like that.
In the back.
T always offers like my mum the front seat, but my mum don't take it.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny watching the little argument they have? No, you, mum. No, you go. No, you.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there. Let's go. Like, no. One of you sit down. Let's go.
But I think in that moment, it's also about how your husband handles that situation as well. Because, like you said, if you're having that conversation, like you go to the back, I think then that's gonna add a little bit of friction there.
Yeah.
Especially like if the mother-in-law is standing right there. That's gonna be a conversation with between somebody behind closed doors about
it's a quiet drive, isn't it?
And a very quiet drive. But I think like as long as I always it's not even a question because
we never even had that conversation.
Yeah, it's a standard thing, and she always says no, and even if like it's his gran or whatever, most of the time they will be like no, you sit in the front, or do you know what I mean? Or even if most of the time you can see that they actually need to sit in the front, like trying to squeeze in the back behind whoever is just not going to work anyway. So they might as well sit in the front. But yes, it's always a case of like, go, and then we'll go. But I think if it's not handled correctly, then it can go left, and that's when there's issues with that answer.
Yeah, I feel if I'm being told that's what I should be doing, I'll probably will have a problem about it. I want to be told that's what I should be doing.
Yeah, because I think if your mother-in-law was like no, then there's a mutual respect there. But if your mum's like no, you need to go in the back, then there's a break there.
Next time I probably won't offer it. I just sit in my seat like this and look straight. I'm like, ask me.
Let me switch it a bit. Let's say it was the dad, right? So as a dad, and the dad had to get in with like the front seat. Same scenario. Would we as men be like, go on, dad, just jump? Not our dad, obviously the mum's dad, the wife's dad. Go on, dad, jump in the front seat. Or would we just sit in the front seat and be like,
that's true.
What you're saying? The wife is driving.
Wife is driving, yeah.
Wow. Okay. That's not even not that that's happened, but it would be the same thing for me. I think it's just a cultural thing. Like, in fact, your dad just goes straight to the front anyway.
My dad doesn't wait to be asked.
He goes straight to the front.
Our version is when they come into the house with their shoes and they walk into the living room. That's our. They just walk into the living room with their shoes and everything. You think,
bro. Oh my god.
You know, there's so many people that's been in my house, and I'm able to say like, "Oh, shoes, please."
Yeah.
His dad walked in. I couldn't really. I didn't say anything. I couldn't.
Well, listen.
If my dad was here, I just couldn't say. No way.
But do you know what we did? But you have to think smart and think ways around it. So what we did is we went and purchased slippers, and I was like, "Oh, do you want slippers?" As soon as it was and then it's done. Like
my dad would say no. He'd be like, no.
So what happened with us is that my when my pops comes around, same thing. He just bowls through and sits down. It was Mimi last time. My daughter was like, "Granddad, you got to take your shoes off." And me, I kind of slipped out of the room because I wasn't, I'm not trying to be part of that.
Granddaughter, what did he say though? Did he do it?
He did, I think.
Yeah, because his granddaughter.
Oh, he did it.
He didn't do it.
Okay, I don't
really?
know.
Oh.
But I feel it's not my husband's place to tell my dad to take off his shoes. I think the emphasis should be on me, and I do. And when I tell my dad to take off his shoes, he does it.
Yeah,
my dad will take off his shoes because we make it into a thing. Dad, you need to take off your shoes, and then he'd be like, "Oh, why? Oh, okay." And then he'll take off his shoes, and I feel like my husband when I'm looking at his dad's shoes, and I said, "Babe," and he pretends he hasn't seen me.
That's my sister there, right there. She says it.
He would never.
See, my sister's comment. My dad will never.
He will never. And it's not my place to tell him.
It's not my place either.
Well, he's gonna ask you, are you hungry?
It's not.
So I've just learned to accept the fact that he's never going to take off his shoes, and that's just it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. TNK, you wanna take this one?
Okay, my wife finds it hard to control her hormones. She's abrupt and complains about tiny things. I forgot to take the washing out yesterday and she tore into me. I said, "Must be your period." And it was World War III. No, I'm like, this one. This one is very close.
It might come here.
No.
It never comes out here.
Yeah. Talk the talk, bro. Talk the talk.
No, fam.
We've been here like in the past, and yeah, and it's not gone down very well. But I mean, we're still here, we're still married, so
I don't remember that.
No, because it hit me here, guys, here in the chest. But like, it's just not something you say to your wife. It just really isn't. No matter what time of the month, and if it is that time of the month, even worse. Just don't even go there.
Yeah. I think with me, Fess knows when I'm kind of, around that time because I feel like I'm a little bit more, as I've gotten older, I feel like I react to my hormones a lot more than I used to. So I might snap at certain things, and I think he has learned now
to just duck.
And then later on, and I will come to him and I said, "Babe, I'm really sorry. I've been snappy. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm coming on or whatever." And that's what. And even my sister, when I'm talking to him, is like, "Are you coming on a period? What's happening?"
See, but
yeah, probably.
But to the question, I have never, and I will never say that's wild. That's you're actually looking for a fight. Yeah. Like it's not even world war, it's the end. It's apocalypse. I'm not
in it. Forget coronavirus, man.
As Quarks is saying, even if it's here, I dare it not even come here, bruv. Nah, it's all right.
It's just a reminder for you, and it's like
yeah.
Put it somewhere. Yeah.
I guess we can conclude that one then. No, none of you would dare ever say that to your wives.
You know, I think as well, we've been married for so long, like Fess is saying, and just saying, and most of us, I think we now know when it's approaching that time, like we know, okay, it's, the reason that she's behaving like this, or she responded to me in this way is because this is probably happening. And she didn't believe me that I knew when, when her time was approaching. So
he's so proud of himself.
I am. But I know now, you know what I mean? Like, so if I say, "How you doing?" and I get I'm like, okay.
Cold in here.
Don't listen to him, it's not that bad.
I guess as you grow with each other, you kind of know how people are regularly and when things are starting to change. And then as men, that's an indication of how we should kind of tiptoe around the situation. But for the women, how would you like your man to behave around that time? Do you know what I mean? Like for our women that are out there who might be going through those same situations or just getting married or in relationships, like what would you expect from your man when it comes to that point in time when you know you're a bit agitated and a bit snappy?
I think a little bit more understanding, and especially if they know it is around that time, not to take everything we say literally, and just before, even if I've said something that's kind of a bit borderline, I think for them to kind of put into account what must be going on behind the scenes and just respond adequately, not on the same. So if I'm doing something at a 10, don't meet me at a 10, because you know you kind of you know to kind of bring it, address it. I'm not saying don't address it, but bring it down a little, just so because we're not like this. So a little bit of understanding and patience, and just kind of, okay, I know she probably won't behave like this if it wasn't for A, B, and C. So I'm not going to match her over here. I'll come in a little bit over here just to let her know I didn't appreciate that, but not here. That is just going to be like this. And
I feel you. Because when you go, if I'm at 10 and you're going at 10, if you come at me at 10, it's not gonna end
well.
Well, yeah. So like, just kind of like dampen my. If I'm snappy, like don't snap back at me. Just dampen it, because then it makes me think, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Or and most of the times, I actually don't know that I'm like that until he says something, until he reacts, and then I'm like, oh, and then I'm like, oh yeah. And sometimes I wish that, like, that was that.
I like when you are guilty. You feel it. I like that.
Yeah, and I think that's why I then go back to him and say, oh, you know, I must speak it, because of the fact that he doesn't meet me over here, and because he doesn't meet me over here, it kind of makes me check myself slightly. It's like, okay. And then I thought, oh, okay, maybe I was a bit, and then I'll go back to him and it's like, you know, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's like, I might be coming on because I shouldn't be this snappy, or I didn't mean it to come across that way. Just because the fact that he didn't meet me over here gave me a little bit of an insight to kind of check myself, like, oh, okay.
But that comes with time, though. Like early days, it wasn't like that. If she comes with 10, I'm back with an 11, 12, easy.
And then there'll be silent treatment for whole 2 months.
But now, over the years, like if she's at 10, I'm like, yeah, something must be going on. Let me just back off, and then I'll go about my business, because it's cool. Normally, 9 times out of 10, she'll come find me and be like, hey, what's up? I'm like, oh, okay, yes, it works.
We laugh about it afterwards, because he'll be like,
it seems that you guys are learning. That's good.
Yeah, it's important.
Definitely. I mean, like, as you said, those first couple of years, man, it was fire. But as you go on and you learn, like, then we'd come back and we'd laugh about it afterwards, and then we're like, oh yeah, and then like the argument, whatever, is squashed and it's not a big deal anymore. But yeah, and that definitely comes with time, because it wasn't like that. And even sometimes I feel like we sometimes still, you know, just but yeah.
I think
you're caught off guard, isn't it? Caught off guard sometimes, isn't it?
I hear that. I think what I think, like Fess is saying, and both all you guys, we learn. Do you know what I mean? We learn that, okay, this is not usual. But certain times when we do respond, it's because, like, you guys talk to us in such a way that makes us think, wait, am I a dickhead? Like,
babe.
No, but certain times, you lot are harsh. Like,
yeah. You know what? Talk it, Jay. Talk it.
All right.
No. I'm not having that.
Like when the dumbest words in the world, you know what I mean? I'm like
your name is off guard, because, like,
bro,
who are you talking to me like for?
Exactly.
And it could be something very innocent and simple as well. You just come and ask a simple question like, hey, so are we going to X, Y, and Z? What do you mean?
Get slapped in the face.
Oh, I'm houseboy. I'm like, okay. It's not, yeah.
But now we understand. So for the men in new, so for the new men in relationships, so starting out, just as women saying, just take time. Do you know what I mean? Don't respond. don't bring the fire, don't bring the heat because it doesn't help.
Okay. No, but well done, guys, for knowing us so well and obviously being a little bit more understanding. And ladies, we just need to tone it down a little bit. Just a tad. Time of the month or not, we still need to be quite mindful that, you know, maybe sometimes our tone is a little bit out there. So we've got our last one here. And I guess this is more of a somebody that's thinking about marriage that is just in a relationship.
Yeah. Okay, so I feel my girlfriend's dad doesn't like me. When I come to the house, he barely greets me and often turns the TV up when we're talking. This is the woman I want to spend my life with, but what do I do?
Run for the hills.
See there needs to be a conversation between the guy and his dad. Like, the guy needs to let his dad know that, look, this is the. You know what? Actually, no. Let me say it a different way. Maybe he needs to find out from his dad what is it that you don't like about her? Because I checked for her, I like her, obviously, and if this is a girl I want to spend the rest of my life with, what is it that you don't? A conversation needs to take place. I don't know.
The girlfriend's dad doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm doing it the other way around.
No, he's flipped it. But I would feel bad having a conversation with my dad. I wouldn't want to take away, like, do you know, like, my husband's an alpha male, and I wouldn't want to step and make him feel any less than that by speaking to my dad and being like, Dad, like, fix up or blah blah blah. So I think I'd have to go on your lead. If you say, babe, like, have a conversation with your dad or whatever, if you wanted me to, then I would. But if not, and you wanted to have that conversation, I'd be like, go with it, and I'll back you, because what he's doing there is not rude. He turns up TV when you're talking. That means he doesn't respect you as a man.
Wait. You know how mad that is? You're talking, and I just turn the TV up.
and hold on, you're turning up my TV. You're in my house and you're turning up my TV when I'm talking. That's next level rudeness. That I just
no. So I'm coming to your house. Your dad is there, and he turns up TV. So I would probably. Oh, okay. I would probably at first would want you to kind of find out, see if he does have a problem with me.
Yeah.
And if he does, then I'd probably talk to him. But I would want to know first. I don't want to jump to conclusions, because sometimes you might be in your feelings, and that's just him. He's into the program, and he's watching this program. You come at a time, you're trying to watch his program. It's rude, because I'm a guest in your house, but you know, you can't jump to, because if you go talk to him, he's like, nah, I don't have any problem with you. Like, I actually like you. Then you look stupid.
So I think Joyce has just shared her experience. She's saying, my dad used to ignore my husband when we were dating because he's Alata. So for those of you that don't know, it means he's Nigerian. But my husband is from Ghana. And Joyce is Ghanaian. But my husband took time and broke down the walls. Now he's the favorite son-in-law now. And I guess that's a really positive spin on how it worked out. So well done.
How long did it take though, Joyce? Was it like months or years? Like how long? Because that can really put a strain on your relationship if that's going on for a long time. And if you live with your parents and your partner's always coming there, then that's not right either. Like how if that's been going on for a long time, how then do you deal with that? Because that's just not a one-time thing. That's like an ongoing thing. So there must be something.
And I think because I guess in this case they're not married yet. So if this is somebody that you're planning on spending your life with, but then already you're kind of feeling a bit of hostility within the family, you're gonna think, well, is this how it's gonna be when we get married? And is it worth me kind of trying to work this out to see if it'll work out?
Yeah. But I think it's standard though, especially in an African culture, that the father of the woman is not gonna take to you straight away. It's like it's kind of their right to kind of snob you a little just to see. It's like protective. And I know all you men with your daughters, all you men with your daughters, you'd be the same. Like if they brought a man home.
What man? There's no man coming to the house.
Please.
Coming
if they brought a man home, I'm sure you would ignore them too, because
they're not coming in the house. They're not coming in.
when you meet them, it would be a very kind of standoffish kind of relationship at first. Almost like
we've rehearsed,
prove themselves to you before you let down your guards.
We've rehearsed this moment. Okay, we know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've already told you I bought a baseball bat. It's fine.
Yep.
It's fine. Okay. Quick question though. Let's reverse it. Let's reverse it. The boyfriend's mum appears not to like the girl. Does that make it any different?
I
guess it can make it harder because most guys are closer to their mums, right? So that does make it challenging, definitely.
But I think I kind of had that. I felt like I had that experience when I first met Fess's mom. I think we walked in and she was on a couch watching TV, and it almost like she kind of turned to say hello, but then that was it. So afterwards, I'm like, oh, I don't think your mum likes me. And he's like, no, that's not, because the conversation that they had was completely different than the impression that I got. And it's like, nah, she loves you, you know, we've talked and blah, 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 blah. So then that kind of put me at ease. But if I say, I don't think your mum likes me, and he came, yeah, I don't think she does. That was a different conversation, but he kind of put my mind at ease. It's like, I don't know why you get that impression. But that's not how she feels at all. Or you got that wrong. And I said, oh, okay. So I kind of let that go. And then the next time I was there, it was a bit more, I kind of tried to engage with her a bit more.
To be fair, I think the very first time, I didn't tell you, but I don't think she knew you were coming. So it was like, she was a bit I think she was a bit thrown by that. So it was my fault.
I think a lot of the comments are saying that if the mum doesn't like you, then it's all over. Like there's no marriage at all.
What was that witch comment I saw?
Yeah, there's some witch comment, Dan.
Yeah, I think that was from... No, but let's just go back to Joyce for a minute. So Joyce was saying that a lot of things changed when her dad realized that, you know, he's not going anywhere. He's here to stay. And then I guess he started coming down a little bit.
That makes sense. That's I like that. That makes sense.
The thing is, would you agree that if the... Gonti?
I was going to say, I think that the parents should be a little bit like, not standoffish, not turning up the TV when you're talking, but a little bit like, you know, I want to see what you're about first before I'm going to just you can take my child and do whatever. Like, are you going to like stand up for yourself? Because if you're going to stand up for yourself, that means you're going to stand up for my child. Like that kind of thing. Like,
I like that. I like that.
But like, obviously in a respectful way, don't like, you know, disregard them if they're talking to you, or just like talking, you know, your face is another way, blah, blah, blah. But there should be a little bit of something for them to just like, you know, I am gonna take care of your child. I am gonna, you know, I am not worthy, but like, do you know, I'm like,
I'm not a dickhead.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But what do we do? What happens in situations where actually, you know what, the mum just does not like the woman, regardless? Do you know what I mean? Just should the man kill the relationship there, or should he just say, you know what, regardless, I love this woman. This is who I've decided to spend my life with, and whether you like her or not, I'm gonna stick with her. Or should he be like, no, it's never gonna work?
It seems that regardless of what the mum, like it's a challenging one, because you're almost, if you say I'm gonna just do it regardless, you're basically saying, Mum, I'm gonna do it without your blessing, and it makes for a difficult situation, especially when kids come along and all that kind of, just makes it a bit. Boy, I'm just thankful that I haven't experienced it like that. So I don't know, man.
I deal with reasoning, and if I talk to my mum and my mum literally just has no reason, I just don't like her. Why? Because I want you to marry this girl from the village. Like, you know them ones. Like, then I'll probably like, Mum, I love you so much, but I'm going to spend my life with this woman. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I deal with reason. I like to reason with people, and if the reason don't happen, then I don't know. I'll probably just end up doing what I think is right.
So would you, in regards to Kwati's thing, would you have locked your mum off? Like, if she gave you some like
I'll never lock my mum off. No, I would have never ever locked my mum off. No way. But my mum will see my reason and probably, because I'm talking from my mom's perspective and how I deal with my mum.
Yeah.
And I know eventually she will come around to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But what if she didn't, Kay? What if she didn't?
She would.
I can't see that. I can't even fathom that. My mum would come round because I know what my mum's like with me. Mums and their sons have, you know what I mean, most of the time have a special relationship, and they tend to trust their sons in situations where their sons probably insist on, you know what I mean. But if they see that their son's making a mistake, they will come out and they will tell them why. From my experience, they'll tell them why. Yeah. And if he's a wise son, he would hear his mama and probably, if it's right, the judgment, probably back off.
Mm-hmm. So for the mothers then, what if what if you had a son, and you didn't like his girlfriend? Would you insist that he gets rid of her, or would you ignore her, or would you try and learn to love her because your son loves her?
I mean, is it a girlfriend turning into a fiance, or is it just a girlfriend who's just going to be here for 5 minutes? Like, you kind of, I think I'd have to weigh up and see, like, what's worth, like, you know what I mean, worth the trouble. If she's going to be here for 5 minutes, then, like, I will tell you how I feel about it, but I just kind of let you figure that out for yourself. I'd always be a listening ear. I'd always be ready with advice and blah, blah, blah. But I think if she was a girlfriend turning into fiance who's going to then be your wife for the rest of your life, then we've got to have some kind of conversation.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, no, I agree with T, because I think if it's just one of those girlfriends that's like, it's not serious, it's almost like, I'll let you know. I don't think I'll check for this one. Yeah, but then I'm not going to interfere because I know she's not kind of sticking around for long. But if it's somebody that he was serious in, then I think a serious conversation to be had about why I feel they might not be right for them. But I think, as Kay was saying, I think as a mother, if your son insists on marrying someone, despite your opinion of them, then I think you kind of, especially if they are truly happy with the situation, I feel like you toe the line in terms of, I'll come to the wedding, I do what I need to do, but you're not going to come to my house on Sundays for Sunday dinner very often. I would like to kind of distance my relationship with when I'm interacting with her. I understand you are an adult and you have your life to lead, and that's the decision despite how I feel about it. But I don't think I'm going to stand somewhere and say, I'm not coming to your wedding, I'll never speak to you again if you marry that woman. But obviously it depends on the situation and what
the reason
is. But I think in the end, you can't live their life for them. They almost have to kind of, but I do feel you need to let them know exactly why you think, you don't like the particular person.
It's like a Nollywood movie.
I just said though, they might see something you can't see, and that's why I'm saying that your mom will truly like tell you the truth. And if you're a wise son, you listen to what your mom is saying and weigh things up. If you just dismiss what your mom's saying and not even look for the reason that she's giving you, then perhaps you're foolish. You know what I mean? You have to literally see why your mom don't like her. If your mom don't like her, it's a good reason. You have to look for that and see if it is true or not.
Yeah. But Joss, when you said about, the distance, you can't come to my house like, every Sunday for dinner and stuff like that. What happens when the kids come along then? Because that makes, you obviously want your children, you want your grandchildren there, but she will obviously come with the grandchildren most of the time, when they're younger anyway. So what happens there? How do you then handle that?
I just feel like, because I don't agree with it, I don't want to spend too much time around, because I think one thing about me is I can't do the pretense. You all know me. When it comes to my head, even at work, it comes, and I just have to say, I can't I'm not the type of person that can sit on it. So if I've told you how I feel, and I feel it's safer to limit the amount of time I spend with that person, don't say you can't come to my house ever, but me and you are never going to be cool like that. So it's like, yeah, come bring the kids, but I'm not going to pretend that, you're my favorite person in the world. But, drop off my grandchildren, come in even and sit. But understand, I'm not going to have that interaction.
Josh, don't you feel like you're then going to jeopardize the relationship with your son because of your feelings towards this woman, not just with your son, with the potential grandchildren that you're going to have? Like, you can say, yeah, come and drop off your child, but if I'm that woman and I know you don't like me, my children ain't coming to your house.
That's true. That's true. I can't pretend.
There's no way I'm going to allow my husband to just come and drop them at your house when you're trying to disrespect me and I blatantly know you don't.
I don't think I'll go out my way to disrespect anybody, but I think anybody will know if I'm not cool like that with you, but it wouldn't be a disrespect. Like, I'm not going to snob you or be rude to you in that way.
That's fine, but come on, let's face it, as women, we know when another woman don't like us. Yeah? So you don't need to be like, say certain things or behave in a certain way. If I know that Jason's mom don't like me, I know it without her having to spell it out to me or whatever. And then I'll be like, if Jason's like, oh, I'm taking a kiss to my mom, I'll be like, sorry, we've got plans today. Me and my kids are going out.
I guess I ain't seeing my grandchildren then.
Yeah, your grandchildren, mate.
You lot are talking some Nollywood movie thing, right?
Start throwing powder in her face.
You know what I mean?
But if it turns into that and he does marry her, then you've got to have a conversation with her. You've got to squash it. You've got to figure it out, because also what you're missing out in is a relationship with her, which actually might be fantastic had you maybe had the conversation with her and sat down and tried to resolve your issues. Like, I had a friend that her mum did not like her at all. Her husband's mum didn't like her at all. And so she went out of her way and bit the bullet and killed the mum with kindness.
Oh.
And she, like, whatever she got, they got over it, their issues. The mum just squashed it or whatever. She saw that she was actually good. Whatever views that she'd had of her before wasn't valid. And now they have such a fantastic
How long did that take, T? How long did that take, though?
It did take a couple of months, and it was
that's right, then.
So they got married, and the mum didn't like her, and so it was after they got married. So it was a while that they'd been dating for ages. So it was a while that it took for her to like. But I think before they got married, she wasn't really. I guess she didn't really understand the dynamics of it. It's actually when you get married and you realize that actually you guys are now going to be spending a lot of time together, especially when the kids come along, that she realized that actually I've got to do something about this. And she said, right, well, I'm just going to be the bigger person in this situation. She bit the bullet, killed it. And now they've got fantastic, and they get on like a house on fire. She'll go there without her husband, and they have a fantastic relationship, and the kids then get the benefits of mum and grandma together rather than there being friction in the family. So maybe just
it would be different if she went out of their way to, I guess, disprove how I feel about her. Obviously, as I said, depends on the situation and what it is about her. If it's just I just don't like her, then that's just not good enough. If there's a substantial reason why I don't like her, and I've said it. But if she went out of her way to kind of disprove how I feel about her, and prove me wrong, then I'm not going to just sit there. No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Then that's a different scenario.
Well, we've got 3 sons, so I'm nervous.
You should be. You might not be seeing your grandchildren, mate. Right? But you know what? In saying that, it's a lot easier when you've got the daughter, because I feel like with daughters, even if you don't like the husband, it's fine, because you don't really need to deal with the husband as much, and they will always come back home. They will leave their husbands and come home and bring their kids and stuff. First, I see you doing your face like that. It's true.
It is true.
It is true. It's true. I completely agree.
Yeah, I completely agree. You ain't going nowhere. You're trying it. You're not doing that mad thing.
I feel like when men get married, it's almost like, I don't want to say they lose their identity, but like their side of the family is not as
central
to the family unit as if it's a woman.
What's going on here?
I'm not sure for this.
No, we're having an honesty. Don't you guys?
Sorry, where are we?
But I get what she's saying.
I don't.
Because as a mother, because that you're more, I guess we spend more time with the kids and things like I would want majority of the time I want to go to, we will go to my mum's more time than we will go to your mum's as a family. You take the kids to your mum's like majority of the times, but I will go to my mum a lot more than maybe you will take the kids to your mum. So I guess or my mum will come here. So I guess it's not as easy for your mum to come and chill over here, even though she does at times, but not as frequent and easy for my mum to be in our house. Does that make sense? Because because I'm the daughter, she feels I guess, more at home coming here than your mum would feel more at home coming. I mean, she comes, but not as often as my mum would come or feel comfortable coming, should I say. That's what she means.
Yeah, I know at first you probably don't want to hear it. You guys don't want to hear it, but I think it's just natural.
Mom, if you're watching, I'm sorry, isn't it?
No, but it's true what Josie's saying. Like, you would take the kids to your mum, but it's like, because I would go more regularly to my mum's house, she is more likely that she will probably see the children more than maybe your mum will, because I'm just going there anyway. So then I just take my kids. You see what I mean? I mean our kids.
You see right there. You lot and your minds.
But then my kids.
You see, let's not do this. Let's not do this.
Let's have that conversation another day. Whose kids is it really? Is it the husband or the wife's kids?
No, when they're bad, they're my kids. That's always talk to your kids.
Yeah, they clearly get the bad attributes from their fathers. It's well known. Research shows this.
Which research?
Which research? Where does research? Please show.
In your heads.
See me in chambers. All right, guys. I think we've gone over our time. Should we kind of run up and maybe do some tips about how to kind of, as couples, how to maybe deal with some of the typical issues that we may have within marriages and relationships, or maybe if you just got like a word of advice for anybody out there kind of just struggling to try and make it work in their relationship.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, you go.
For us.
Yeah.
I would say I think so. We've been married a long time now, and based on where we first were in our marriage to where we are now, there's been a lot of advancements and improvements. I would say just be patient and work together, because eventually things will kind of adapt and things will change. So like we were talking, the examples we were given earlier about when I come at her and she's at a 10 and then I'd join her at that level. Like, these things change over time. Like, we're not the same couple we were when we got married to who we are now. So just stick in there, man. Stick in there, be patient.
Yeah.
There
was times when I think I used to do silent treatment very well. That was my go-to. Because
I did very well.
You are
very well.
Masters in that.
I used to do it very well.
She's probably proud of herself as well. I used to do it very well.
I think as time's kind of gone on, I've learned that nothing gets solved with silent treatment. So almost like, and even now I tell other people, like, it's either you deal with the situation, you've got two choices. Are you going to leave him? No. If you're not going to leave him, then you need to deal with the situation, because there's no point giving, weeks or days silent treatment. Nothing's up. Like, you're miserable, he's miserable, the kid's miserable, there's tension in the house. So just deal with it and move on. And I think that's what I have now done. I often won't go. I don't think I even go a day without. I'll probably in the morning I'll be upset, but evening he'll be like, "What's wrong?" And normally I'll be like, "Nothing." What's wrong? Nothing. Continuously, and then he will stop asking, and then I'll get upset for the fact that he stops asking.
And then we're back to the bedroom situation again.
I hope can he see me?
So now what's wrong? I just like, well, actually, or sometimes I'll go to him and say, "Oh, babe, you know what you did? It, you know, I didn't appreciate it, or I was upset about that." Or I just, when he does ask what's wrong, I just like, okay, as you asked, let's talk about it.
Yeah, sometimes I'm not ready for the answer, but yeah.
And you wish you never asked.
Yeah, sometimes.
And you're like, okay.
Sometimes I'm just passing, you know. I'm just passing. What's wrong? And I get there.
Ajis, what about you?
I think my thing is always be honest in everything, in terms of if you don't want to do something, don't give them the impression that you want to do, like you're gonna do it for them and you don't. Do you know what I mean? Always be honest with how you feeling and everything, and your reason has to also be I guess something that they can also understand. You discuss things and I'm trying to find the best words for this. Sorry, guys.
Just be raw, bro. Be raw.
No.
Yeah,
bro,
you say it.
It goes left. So
just be raw. Hold them, bro. Just be raw.
Yeah, just always like make sure that there's not too much surprises for your partner in a bad way. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, that it's not too much surprise for your partner in a bad way. That that they'll know you, that they can vouch for you when they're standing somewhere, and not be surprised by something else, but someone else turn around to you. Yeah, but I saw your husband or your wife, and they weren't saying that. Do you know what I mean? Like, just be transparent always. Yeah, that's it. Be transparent always. That's my thing. That's one big thing for me. Always be transparent.
See what you said.
I'm completely with my husband. I think communication, and I think like, say you agree on something and then you change your mind, like not just changing your mind just because I can change my mind, but changing your mind with a valid reason, and then being able to back up the reason why you changed your mind. And then, you know, and then being adult enough to have that conversation to say, look, this is why I changed my mind, and blah 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 blah. Because I think when you keep the lines of communication open, and they're open and honest like that, even if you change your mind and he's upset about it, he can then kind of see where it is you're coming from. And even if he can't see where you're coming from, you've got a valid reason behind why you did what you did. And at least then he's just aware of like what is coming.
Yeah, never be afraid to go back to a drawing board.
Yeah.
Never be afraid to go back to a drawing board
and
discuss again.
Yeah, nothing is like, things are set in stone, but nothing is set in stone that you can't rehash it and have a conversation about it again if you decide that this is not how you want to do something.
I like that. Yeah. That is good.
Because for us, I would say like just work at it. Because if you work at marriage, it will always get better. Like whatever it is, whether it's communication, whether it's childcare and the children and parenting, whether it's intimacy, like whatever it is, you have to be intentional about wanting it to be the best it can possibly be. Because like, as everybody on here can tell, like we have fun as married couples, you know what I mean? We have fun as husband and wives, but it's had to get to a stage where we can have this fun, do you know what I mean? It's not all roses, and it's not all banter, and it's not all like jokes. Like there are times when it's just cold in the house, you know what I mean? Like cold, and these times
freezing.
These times the heating
Those
is
are
on
windows, please.
The heating is on top, but the house is cold. It's cold.
say.
You know what I mean?
And the food don't taste good, innit? The food don't taste right either.
Food? What foods? I'm having toast and Cheerios.
Yeah,
You
you're trying like this.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not all rosy, but like I think if you're willing to work hard at your marriage, and if you want it to be a success in all areas, just be willing to put in the work, and I think it pays off 100%. Like we're still learning about each other, we're still growing with each other. We're 15 years in this year, but yeah, work, be willing to work hard, and it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. I think I completely agree with what Jason said. I just feel like I don't know how, like, after so long, it's almost like there's still something new to learn about each other. And I feel like it just, I don't know, sometimes I find it so weird that you just feel like you've been with somebody for so long, so you feel like, okay, I know everything there is to know, or we've done whatever, but then there's always room for improvement and ways to still keep the spark alive, and how to spice things up and things like that. And I think a bit like Jocelyn, that I've really I feel like over the years I've grown in terms of being a lot more mature about the way I respond in arguments and the way I deal with things, that it's not necessarily about him or even about us. It's just about maybe myself and my background, the way I've been raised. Like, you know what they say, like everybody comes with their own baggage and their own expectations. So you deal with something in a particular way that maybe it's kind of worked for you for a very long time, but now you're with somebody that is just like, whoa, like I don't want to go there, or I don't deal with things like that. You just have to kind of adapt. And you guys can probably tell, like Jason's really well reserved, and one of the things would be just like when I'm ready to just have it out, and he's just like very laid back and not, really saying much, and that kind of frustrates me a little bit. So it's like kind of just reading it as well and just being like, okay, maybe not now, and I have to just tone it down and not be such a big mouth and all that kind of stuff. So I think I'm learning.
Jason's smiling behind there, man.
I wasn't smiling.
I'm learning. I'm no longer, I can proudly say that I have now come out through the silent treatment, and I no longer do it. So, this way.
I wouldn't say no. It's rare. It's rare.
When was the last time I gave you the silent treatment?
No, you're right.
Apologies, please.
Jason, give her her juice, bruv.
Accolades.
Do you know what I mean?
Accolades, come on.
He was getting punished tonight, boy. You're lucky.
There's no need. We can't edit. I told you.
Of course, it's Jason's birthday tomorrow, so yeah.
Happy birthday!
Yes.
Happy birthday!
Oi.
I wish my husband a happy birthday for tomorrow, 8th of June. Hey.
Wonderful, isn't it?
I was going to make him a cake, but it flopped, so I'm going to start again.
Danielle, what do I always say, Danielle?
Anyway, yeah, and I was going to say, one of the questions should be, my husband keeps paying my little sister compliments about her cake making. Should I be worried? Okay, so guys, I just have to say thank you guys so much for joining us. Everybody watching online, I hope you've kind of enjoyed the conversation. Thank you all for joining in. I think it's been quite interesting hearing everybody's point of view as well, hasn't it? How have you guys found it?
Definite, man. It's been fun.
Very.
It's been fun.
I'm funny. So funny.
Yeah. We like to laugh, isn't it? We like to laugh.
Hey, we love to laugh. So yeah.
So, tune in next week. We're carrying on with our conversations. So next week's conversation is about Netflix and chill, but I don't know, we might kind of throw in a bit more other questions in there just to kind of, make it a little bit more interesting. So make sure you come back to us next week, Sunday, 9 p.m. YouTube and Facebook Live, and make sure you subscribe. Make sure you leave us some comments. And if you're enjoying it, join the conversation, share it, all that fun stuff. And I guess we all have to say good night to everybody.
Good night,
Thank
guys.
you, Auntie. And thank you, Auntie.
Good night.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Bye, you.
Bye, everyone.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
Are
we live?
We're still live. They just have comments. I'm just sending out.
Okay, look it up.
They've got comments.
Yeah, I'm just we.
to see you.
Let the comments run in it because there's people might want to say something.
Yeah, people are just saying stuff.
Yeah, I'm testy, isn't it?
Oh,
happy birthday, Jay.
Thank you guys.
Oh, thanks, Brenda.
When lockdown is done, you already know what it is anyway, so just gonna go out and enjoy it.
Yay.
Birthdays.
I think we're done now.
Happy birthday, Jason. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
I too.
He's wearing a hat, so you don't see his grey hair.
The close to July. What do you expect me to do?
Black marriages matter.
They really do. They really do.
All right, guys. Good night, everybody.
Peace.
Everyone, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.